Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Auto Transport Intel. It is Friday. It is noon Central Time. That means it is time for Cars on the Move, and it's the last Friday of the month, which means it's time for the melting block of ice on Cars on the Move, on Auto Transport Intel. Guys, thanks so much for joining. We're going to get right to it. I just want to mention, please do leave a like, whether you're watching live or on demand. And I want you to jump in the live chat before I go to the live chat. Do me a favor. Click share. Click copy. Grab that YouTube link. Email it. Text it. Share it on social media. We're only going to be live for 30 minutes. And we have Tim Scoutelas of Max Digital and Paul Machin of Black Book with us. This is going to be a great show. Dealers, auctions, carriers. Go ahead. Go to autotransportintel.com. Click on sign up. Had another company business owner sign up yesterday, and I love seeing that. We're talking about established businesses signing up with Auto Transport Intel. Go ahead and jump in the live chat. Paul Machin, you got it. Grab the popcorn. Thank you, Paul. You're going to be on the show here real soon, and so it is time. Here we go, Ty. Can you see me and hear me okay?
Yeah, I can. How about you?
All right, great. So you're live in the guard shack again. You never know where
guard shack.
You never know where you're going to find Ty. Ooh, what do we got here?
Earrings.
Oh, those are cufflinks.
Oh, cufflinks. Excuse me.
Big into jewelry. This is another jewelry show. Okay, so here, I'm going to show. Okay, no, it's not. Ty, how are you doing? Let me just. How are you doing?
We signed about 769.
769-ish.
Yeah, and we sold 462 for 61%.
61%. So a little down, 1%.
A little bit. Well, it's holiday.
Oh, and plus the weather was crappy. All right.
Yeah.
So we're still doing good. That's still a good sale.
Yes.
And still good numbers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with that. Okay, so that's your live update at the auction, America's Auto Auction, Kansas City Mo. We got our buddies Tim and Paul. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I'm sure you already said that. But,
yeah, that's awesome.
Things are going good. It's a match.
That is good. Here, I'm going to share a quick couple images, and then we're going to bring those guys up in here. I just want to mention, I see this stuff, right? Where do you buy a used car online? Okay, it's this pretty small print. But the point is, it's going to lead into, I think, some of the companies we're going to be talking about today. Auto Trader, Car Gurus, Carmax, Cars.com, Carvana, TrueCar, Vroom. Wait, what are these guys? I thought this was a carrier show. I thought they were going to talk about auto transporters. Well, I'll tell you what. You are here, and the car is here. And, this is a coaching deal. So, let's go ahead and bring our guests up in here. And we got, so we're going to bring in Paul Machin from Black Book. And we're going to bring in Tim Scoutelas from Max Digital. They're here. Gentlemen, thanks for taking the time.
What's going on?
What's happening?
Ty in a guard check. That is classic. we've got one of the largest automotive data companies on the planet here with Paul Machin, but Ty goes to the guard check to get the auction run number.
I get the real data. What did you call that, Paul? You guys have the art crew? I'm part of the art crew.
Right, you're part of the art crew. Yep.
I'm getting the real what's happening. It's happening. Right. Thanks, guys, for coming again. I really love having you guys here. You bring a lot of information that is very valuable to guys like us. So thanks for both of you.
Yeah, man. Love being here.
Appreciate you guys. I had a quick question for both of you. Obviously, prices are high, but how are sales? What are you seeing as far as dealers and sales? Are sales still good?
So I'll give you the micro, and Paul maybe has the macro look, right?
All right.
So I was with about 10 dealers yesterday. These were some high power Honda guys. And volume was surprisingly still pretty strong. They had way more cars in inventory than I thought they would we're talking used car. And gross is still
phenomenal.
Yeah. So that's what I'm seeing. We had some markets. This was mostly in the east and southeast. Some markets had started to slow a little, which when I look at my data, that's what happens in late May, early June as we get graduation and vacations. I think vacations will be big in June. So I think we'll see a little bit of a burp in June. That's what these guys are thinking. But things are still going well.
Yep. On the new car side of things, we saw a 53% drop in sales from May to April, and largely due to production halts and whatnot. So the transition, when you lose that kind of inventory, it just naturally flows through. And this week's video log that I put on LinkedIn is really about the strength of the dealer and how quickly dealers have been able to pivot to try to find and source more used vehicles that's critical for them. And I'm hearing more and more dealers are actually going out trying to buy the vehicles from the driveway, doing more direct buys. It's still challenging for those who are just now trying to get their foot into the door, but it's pretty impressive.
Wow. So yeah, that kind of falls in line with Danny at VinQ. He's talked, I guess he's got some technology. He's going to be on the show next Tuesday night with Black Widow. And he's big on buying cars out of driveways. Huge deal.
Yep.
Yeah, so I thought this week, Ty, if it's okay with you and Jay, we talk a little bit about, but this is the melting block of ice, right? So it's all about inventory turn, right? We need to sell the car before it turns to water. Just why I've got some data here I'd love to share with you guys on why a dealer should buy more cars from customers.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see it.
All right, so let's see if I'm okay sharing here. What do you think about that?
Whoa, if my battery dies for some reason, that means my battery's dead.
Oh, boy. All right, go plug in.
Yeah.
Excuse me, so you guys can see the screen here, right? This is a speed to sale. I call it a sales analysis for it's a high volume Toyota store in the upper Midwest. All right, we'll just leave it at that. And let's make sure you guys can see where I got my laser pointer on.
Look
So
at that difference.
yeah. So this is all of their retail sales since the beginning of the year. Okay. And I've talked a lot about the sweet spot, right? Selling cars in the first 30 days. They do a great job. They sell 60% of their inventory. I think any 60 or north is great. I mean, you're humming. Okay. This is their average sale price. This is all units, okay? Trades and purchases, because we're going to break them out here in a second. Their average days to sale in that bucket. And then obviously the total front end gross. And then this is the total front end gross per unit. So they're making $2,000 a car. That's just front end gross when they sell a car in the sweet spot. So let's break this out now, okay? These are purchase cars. So we can tell when we analyze the sales data, dealers use something called stock logic, right? Based on the stock number, we can tell whether the car was a purchase car, meaning they went to the auction and bought it, or it was a trade, right? They bought it essentially from a customer. So here's that same chart, but this is just on purchase cars. And you can see. So the good news here is they sell more of them faster, right? 64% of those cars get sold in the sweet spot. And I see this all the time. If they bought the car at the auction, no one wants to be wrong about an offsite purchase, so they typically price them aggressively and get rid of them. But you can see the average sale price is $4,000 higher than the average. They sell them quicker, and look they're only making $1,200 a car versus the $2,000 overall, right? In the sweet spot. When we add in the trade information, okay, these are vehicles that they bought from customers. 457. So they're a little bit slower to sell in the sweet spot, likely because, right, they trade for the car. It's a little bit older car. Look at the cost of this, the average sale price and cost. Average unit cost is $15,400. The sale price is $19,300. It's almost $5,000 less than that purchase car. It sells just 2 days later on average in the sweet spot. But look at this. They're making $700 more a vehicle on $4,000 less per car. That's a phenomenal ROI. You're looking at me, Ty, like I'm crazy. You get what I'm saying?
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Right. So you could spend $19,300 and make $2,600, or you could spend $25,000 and only make $12,000. Which would you do?
Yeah. So explain the logic here. I mean, obviously you want to buy the car from the customer. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so what you're kind of also saying is here's some of the things that go behind the scenes on the buying the cars at the auction. You've got the prices higher. You're competing with a lot more people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're also waiting on your post-sale inspections, your CR reports, and now you're waiting on your transport guy, right?
Likely.
Yeah. So those are all. What else am I missing here? What else contributes to the costs being higher?
Typically, the customer vehicles are a large portion of our trade-ins, right? So they're coming to buy a new car and they're trading in an older car. So that right there lowers the initial investment off the bat. That's the case at most of those. Not all of them, but most of them.
It's funny because, we're going to have Rob Ruth on Tuesday night. And I guess he's really changed up how he buys cars as well.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see if it lines up with this. I'm sure it will.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, if you're hearing all of this, Carvana, Carmax, Vroom, why, they're buying all these cars from customers. This is why, right? They can get a lower priced vehicle that sells just as fast and makes probably more money, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's amazing.
Paul,
what are you going to add to it?
Seeking Alpha, to add more to what Tim just said, Seeking Alpha, an online investment newsletter, put an article out about Carvana, and it said, still a strong buy. And one of the main reasons why is their inventory turn is faster on vehicles that they purchase directly from customers. They average $1,000 more per copy on each one, and they're selling those vehicles. They're turning them much faster. So they're trying, and that's the reason why they're ramping up their buy. So last year they bought more vehicles than they actually sold, and they're increasing their buy ratios now.
And they're buying them primarily from individuals, driveways.
Yep.
Yeah, like if you're a dealer, be it a large independent like Carmax, Carvana, Vroom, or you're a franchise dealer, this is where I get a little twisted with my franchise dealers. You hear all this, man, I can't believe Carmax gave you that much. Just go ahead and sell it to them. I mean, what's the problem with overpaying a customer for their vehicle?
Right.
Have you ever screwed up at the auction and kept your hand in the air too long or bid against the Coke machine? Yeah. Yeah. And it turns out that car was a piece of shit anyway. Right? In today's world, pay too much for a customer's car, and hey, have them tell 5 people at Thanksgiving dinner that, oh my God, I went down to the ABC Toyota and they gave me a ton of money for my car. You should go there.
Yep.
That's what you want.
I need to show you guys something, and it'll support this. Just check out real quick. Can you guys see the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Germain in Ohio, the Germain Auto Group. I thought they put a brilliant video out to explain how the trade-in process really works in their location. And they're proving that they routinely can offer more money to buy a vehicle directly from their own backyard than Carvana would be willing to pay, or if there's a local company up there called WeBuyAnyCar.com. So they screenshot and have these scenarios all throughout their stores to showcase consumers. Give me this shot. Let me take a look. I want to buy they are actively saying, we want to buy your car even if you don't buy one from me.
Yeah,
that is good marketing right there. I mean, I'm already interested.
Yeah.
And I haven't even talked to anybody. This is really good.
Yeah.
And then you get the story behind it. When you buy a vehicle from a customer or you win that trade-in from a customer, when you resell it, there's a story that goes with it. And that story adds more value, whether it's a one owner or a two owner. That famous story of the old lady owned it, sat in her garage, that kind of stuff. Those stories add value.
Yeah, totally. So these guys at Germain, they do a good job.
Yeah.
All right. So Jay, remember I did my videos on buying cars?
Yes.
From
Yes, I love those videos.
All right, so let's just take a look. I got my fact sheet up here. Okay.
Awesome.
Here's my fact sheet. So if you can check my YouTube page out, Tim Scoutelas on YouTube. I ran through buying a car on Carmax.com and Vroom.com, and here were the big differences, the big takeaways. Look how easy they make it look, Jay. So, I mean, it's basically 6 steps at Vroom, 5 steps at Carmax. Carmax did have a lot of yes/no questions, which I'm okay with. It's simple. I'm not asking for my firstborn, just yes or no. And they each had the cool little thing where all I had to do was put in the 6 or 7 digits from my license plate, and they know right away what kind of car I've got. The thing about Vroom I didn't like is they asked me, but the next step was they needed my name, email, and phone before I had to go on. And I don't really care. Go ahead and call me. But that's going to give hesitation to, I think, some people. Carmax did not. They were like, nope. And it was the highway to the number. I did not get served any ads from Vroom. I had to kind of hunt them down to see if they did it. I don't know about you guys, but are you getting served ads from Carmax, Buy My Car, all over online?
Not me. No.
No, huh?
I'm not seeing those.
You guys, okay. I am. Maybe it's just me. I'm
That's
on
because you search that stuff. It's
Yeah.
interesting, right? I get a bunch of auto transport ads.
I'm starting to get some of that stuff.
Uh-oh.
Definitely in my LinkedIn feed. Definitely in my LinkedIn.
We're having an effect.
Big
And the
effect.
offer was good for 7 days, 250 miles at Vroom. The offer was good for 7 days. There didn't seem to be any mileage restriction at Carmax. So both were very, very similar. But check this out. When I went to get my offer, Vroom was 10.3, Carmax 12.6.
Look at that difference.
Wow.
$2,000 difference.
That's pretty amazing.
It's incredible. Well, the takeaway is that, or at least for me anyway, seems to be that dealers are finding ways to buy cars besides the auction.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a car hauler, you already have your customer. You should be talking to the guy that's in charge of inventory to find out, is he doing things different? Because you, as a carrier, may be able to serve that need, or you may have to be willing to maybe make some changes to your business model. I don't know. But that relationship, this is why we have guys like Paul and Tim on. Both of them just said in this little video, they talk to car dealers every day, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we get a lot of real life information. I mean, Paul's got data out of more data. Wow, data. But they also, Paul said it, he's got a whole team that does nothing but go and talk to people. That validates everything I ever say. I like hearing other people say it besides me. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
That's a critical piece because that gives us a lot of color to what we see in the data. And so when we get asked questions, we can explain it better. Like one of the trends in the last couple of weeks we've experienced is that this is the strength of the dealer. I go back to, they're incredibly smart when it comes to figuring out where they can get the most money. They're taking some frontline ready vehicles. Instead of selling them, they're sending them to the auction because they're getting more money in the lane than they would if they retail them on the front line. It's just it's something that
That
we've
is
in the last couple
amazing.
weeks.
And for, again, as we like to point out, for carriers to know something like that, that means he needs to get it moved to the auction rather than sell it to a customer. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's definitely, somebody who does this well is going to take in cars that they can't retail. And right now, I would not be selling cars to a wholesaler. I'd be sending everything to the auction because why would you want just one guy bidding your cars when you could have 10, 12 guys bidding on your cars, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was one of the hot topics yesterday with my guys was your wholesale cars. What do you sell them now? Do you wait? Right? Is the market going to go up even more? Who knows?
It's hard to say. Paul, what are you seeing in finance? From the perspective of the consumer, we just went through this whole year where nobody worked. Some people lost their job. Sales from what I'm hearing from you guys, new car sales are down. Used car sales are pretty steady. Is that about fair?
Yes. And
So-
the majority of those vehicles are being sold to prime customers. The subprime market is about 15% of the sales right now. And it's because the lenders, as we started, since we started the conversations together and doing all the shows, that was one of the K-shaped, the recovery, right? The K-shaped economy. That people that are in the lower leg are the ones that are going to need the most help, and they're not getting it right now. The lenders have pulled back, and there are some great companies, Max Digital is one of them, that's trying to help dealers really understand how to cater and look after that lower leg, because those people will need vehicles. They can't afford the average price point today of a $40,000 new vehicle or even a $21,000 pre-owned car. They need something to get in sub $10,000 range. It's a decent vehicle, gets them from A to B, but they need financing.
Yeah, that's amazing. That really is interesting information because there's a lot going on in the economy sector in this world too right now.
Right.
I think Steve Greenfield just had a post with some auto finance company, and was it JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs?
Yeah, Motorfy. 155 million funding.
How many?
155 million funding for financing.
Wow. So there you have it, gang. I just always the one thing I can never figure out is how do dealers trade for cars where the guy that's driving the car that wants to trade it is literally buried? I mean, buried. Even with today's used car prices, I've never figured that out.
Yeah.
You just carry it on to the next one. Is that how that works?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They roll over the negative equity.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
it's
negative
really
equity.
It's really bad when you're buying a 4-year-old vehicle and you finance that 4-year-old vehicle for between 5 and 6 years, and you add $7,000 negative equity on top of it.
And you finance it for 72 months.
Yep. And it's already a 4-year-old vehicle. A lot of people did that last year.
Wow. Well, maybe I could see during the middle of a pandemic when everything's going sideways, but I think we've been doing it as an industry for quite a while.
The
Maybe
average
time
negative
for a
equity is
correction.
close to $5,000 now. It's close to $5,000 average negative equity, and
Wow.
it's been steadily increasing every single year.
That's amazing. Amazing information. Well, guys, it's I think isn't it Memorial Day weekend?
Beautiful weekend coming up down here in North Carolina. So
That's right.
Paul, what about you?
We're going to have a great Memorial weekend here in Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh, okay, great. All right, Jay.
I mean, what could I add? There's nothing I could say to improve what we just witnessed. I mean, I love that, and we're keeping it short. We're going to keep it short. We're not even going to go the full 30 minutes. There was a lot of great stuff. The only thing I was going to say, it's hard for me to stop, is that you talk about the negative equity and the changes. We were kind of recapping EV before the show. How is the transition to anything to add there? Any final thoughts in the transition to EV? I'll just leave it at that.
ask me in 10 years
Yeah.
when it maybe comes to fruition. Listen, I thought it was a great show on Tuesday night. I said that to you before we started. Man, the content, Jay, you guys are throwing out is phenomenal. We need to keep talking about it. Your transporter guys got to get ready for it. There's, I think, some challenges. But I think I talked to dealers, man, it's a long ways off. I mean, they're worried about this fall. They ain't worried about EV in 10 years from now. I'm just telling you. They should think a lot shorter term, dealers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Paul, you may have some insight on this. There's this SPAC. You're the one that brought it up Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
And to explain to us what a SPAC is, I heard, I get it. But for anybody else watching, what is that?
Special purpose acquisition companies. Basically, they're otherwise known as a blank check company. And the difference is if you go through a traditional public offering like an IPO, then you have to have financials and revenue. You have to prove revenue. You have to show revenue or potential revenue. Whereas these SPACs, they're investing on a dream. They really don't know if it's going to happen yet. It's projected revenue. If we come out with this is what we think we're going to make. All right, here's $400 billion. It's ridiculous the kind of money these SPACs are raising.
Yeah, didn't you say like as an industry it was something around 11 billion?
Last year was raised for the top 10 EV companies.
All right. So you use the word dream. I use the word narrative.
Right.
The narrative is we're killing the world, so we need to go EV. Is that the narrative?
That's the
dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Well, I hope these guys are, to your point, Ty, I hope these guys are talking to dealers.
Yeah.
They should follow your advice.
Talk to dealers.
I'm afraid that maybe they're not. I think they might be listening to somebody else, but we'll save that for a different show. We'll just keep it to cars right now.
Good. That's a great bookend, because I was saying to Tim and Paul, that is one of our big challenges, but it is work. We have folks there are people listening, but
I believe
it is one at a time. We're scooping folks out of the river at one at a time.
We'll see. Well, guys, again, thank you so much. I really do appreciate Paul, Tim.
That was great.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you
All right,
guys
guys.
so much.
Thanks, Jay. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Have a great weekend. All right. Take care. And that is it. We let the block of ice has melted for another Friday. It's the last Friday every month. So the next melting block of ice, let me look at my calendar, will be June 25th. So look forward to that. I love this feature segment on Cars on the Move, which is every Friday, because it really, man, these guys, I mean, they are talking, this is dealer level quality data, information, and feedback. And it's here on Auto Transport Intel. So thank you so much. Thank you, Tim Scoutelas, Max Digital. Thank you, Paul Machin, Black Book. Thank you, Ty Thompson, Cars on the Move. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in the live chat, saying hello. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And yes, I hope we all get some of that SPAC money. You guys take care. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you Tuesday night for Black Widow Imaging live on Auto Transport Intel with some dealers. It's going to be a great show. So look forward to it. We'll see you then. Everybody, please do have a safe weekend. Take care. Have fun. Peace out.